Sliding fans, plain and simple. She's blowing smoke straight up your keister about the narrative surrounding it. And, you know, Diamond Dishon style, like this is 1997. We didn't make any of that is. It looks a lot like assault to a lot of different people. Let's look.
That's really what happened. That's where it started. That we must just dislike her, that we look at her
Money and become legit. Never going to be serious. It's not. I mean, come on. So, here we go. Like Sue Bird, that is a fact. And you can't bring up, and in part, I think she's trying to get Diana Taurasi out of some
The host's frustration here is real and worth understanding in context. He's reacting to genuine comments Sue Bird made on her A Touch More podcast, and he's connecting it to Diana Taurasi's famous 2024 Reality is Coming comment, which was a real, widely covered moment ahead of Clark's rookie season.
something that you can't even recognize within 24 hours. Scott Van Pelt did ask Diana a question about rookies. Now, was Dee talking about Caitlyn or not? You have to ask her. If I can get ahead of myself for a second, Diana has been so complimentary of Caitlyn since, which to me just really speaks to the issue, which is at times people have been negative towards some of these rookies, right? From a basketball standpoint. They have been critical from a basketball standpoint. And yet those statements have been
Framing Bird as covering for her homegirl is strong, opinionated language. Worth noting up front that this is the host's characterization, and it's fair to hold that interpretation up against Bird's actual, more detailed quote later in the video before deciding how accurate it is.
Isn't a good take on the reality of the situation. I don't understand why the WNBA community favors to gaslight the basketball community, like we don't see Caitlin Clark being targeted. Saying it's all in your head with a soft voice doesn't make it a better cover-up, Sue Bird. I mean, honestly, she's, and in part, I think she's trying to get Diana Taurasi out of some shit. Nah, we're not going to.
The point about new fans coming from other major sports is real cultural context. The Wombe has genuinely seen a significant influx of new viewers since Clark's arrival, a well-documented shift in the league's audience composition.
Pelt and Diana having, her response, which if you go back and watch it, and I don't mean to split hairs here, but it is just another moment where things get taken onto social media and they just grow and people spew and it turns into something that you can't even recognize within 24 hours.
These specific incidents are real and independently confirmed. Angel Reese's clothesline-style foul and Kennedy Carter's forearm shiver on Clark both happened, drew real flagrant foul reviews, and were extensively covered by sports media at the time, not exaggerated or invented for this video.
Sky game? I don't get it. It's crazy. Even worse, they got new fans in, and they're treating the new fans like they're stupid and don't have a basketball IQ. I don't want to hear that shit. I've been watching basketball since I was 6. I'm 50 years old nearly. I mean, God, I came up through the bad boy Pistons and the Bulls and the Pacers, Knicks, Hornets. Those were wars.
Diamond DeShield's hard foul on Clark is also real and well documented. It happened during a real August 2024 game, was upgraded to a flagrant foul, and generated real controversy that's been covered extensively, including by outlets discussing DeShield's own experience with online harassment afterward.
Sue Bird, let me tell you one thing about the new fans that came in, all right? They weren't WNBA fans. We were fans of things like the NFL, actual real sports, all right? The NFL. I'm not saying it's not real basketball, but at times, this league doesn't seem like it wants to be a serious professional league. Number one, mugging your number one cash cow, the one player that can drag your league into legit.
Now here's Sue Bird's actual quote, which deserves to be heard in full. She says Taurasi has been so complimentary of Caitlyn since, and that her real concern is with how criticism of rookies, from a basketball standpoint, gets turned into blanket statements on how an entire group of people feel. That's a more specific, nuanced claim than simply denying anything happened.
If you guys keep calling that punishment basketball plays, then your league doesn't know basketball. All right? There's physical, and then there's whatever in the hell that is. It looks a lot like assault to a lot of different people. Let's listen.
It started. In some ways, it started with me and Diana in our show getting interviewed by Scott Van Pelt, and Diana had.
Bird's comparison to Dylan Brooks and Draymond Green is real and accurately quoted. Her actual point is that when individual male players have contentious moments with opponents, nobody concludes an entire league hates that opponent, which is a fair, specific argument about how narratives generalize individual incidents.
This is ridiculous. All right? None of this is fake. We didn't make up, Angel Reese clotheslining Caitlin Clark or Kennedy Carter with the forearm shiver, WWE style. By the way, calling Caitlin Clark a bitch while doing it. And
here's the core of Bird's real argument. She says once Taurasi's comments went viral, it led to the Twitter trolls and bots taking over, creating this narrative of petty jealous players hating on Caitlin. That's a claim about how a broad narrative formed and spread, not a claim that no physical incidents ever happened.
Very unpleasing to the eye kind of product real fast. I mean, honestly, more gaslighting when will it end? I mean, this guy says, look, Bird's not going to call out these players that she knows in the WNBA. Yeah, but until somebody does, then you're just part of the problem. Women's sports has too many activists and not enough normal competitors who make the game fun other than Caitlin Clark. That's right as well.
Bird's real position on accountability is also worth including. She explicitly says it's on your players to act responsible and act professional on a basketball court, which directly complicates any framing that she's simply excusing player behavior.
Not physical, dirty. The shit needs to be cleaned up. Why? There isn't enough talent in the league to be a dirty league. So we're spot on here. I mean, literally spot on. The NBA figured it out 35 years ago, but we're supposed to accept more dirty violence in women's ball than men? None of it makes sense. And nobody wants to see that. That's the other thing. It becomes a very unpleasing to the eye kind of product.
The host's own praise for Clark here, calling her a hybrid of Steph Curry, Larry Bird, and Michael Jordan's branding, reflects his genuine view of her commercial and on-court significance. And it's worth noting this specific point isn't really in conflict with anything Bird herself has said publicly about Clark's talent and importance to the league.
By all these hating-ass females. But that's where we're at. And Sue Bird is trying to, look, she's been very fair about Caitlin Clark most of the year, but this is ridiculous. All right? None of this is fake. We didn't make up, Angel Reese clotheslining Caitlin Clark or Kennedy Carter with the forearm shiver, WWE style. By the way, calling Caitlin Clark a bitch while doing it. Diamond DeShields.
The host's pushback that DeShields, Carter, and the Marina Mabrey shove weren't just basketball plays is a fair, substantive disagreement to raise, though it's worth being precise that Bird's actual quoted comments were about the broader players hate Clark narrative's origin, not a direct denial that these specific incidents occurred.
If nobody does, then you're just part of the problem. Women's sports has too many activists and not enough normal competitors who make the game fun other than Caitlin Clark. That's right as well. People just want to watch basketball, and the whole league is ate up with activism. Diana was the one.
The professional wrestling comparisons are the host's own colourful commentary style, real opinion delivered with real flair, even if the underlying comparison to specific 1980s wrestling moves is more rhetorical flourish than literal argument.
And you can't bring up Draymond Green because Draymond's not going around targeting one particular player. This isn't a good take on the reality of the situation. I don't understand why the WNBA community favors to gaslight the basketball community. like we don't see Caitlin Clark being targeted. Saying it's all in your head with a soft voice doesn't make it a better cover-up, Sue Bird.